where to go in 3. So happy Monday, everybody. How are you guys? I think we need to get some energy going. Están dormidos todavía. What happened? What happened with you guys today? Are you guys looking at the stock market? Is that what you guys are doing? Stop looking at the stock market. You're realtors. It didn't go. It just moved location. All right. So good morning. Happy to see you all that are in Zoom and everybody that's here in person. So let's start talking what everybody's talking about, because that was the whole weekend. Everybody was talking about Wall Street is on the run. Wall Street is shaking. So then I wanted to just share with you guys some stuff regarding Wall Street. So, first of all, real estate market, stock market is always an up and down. That's why it's called a market. But during the 2001 tech bubble, and I know that, all of you are very young and don't remember the 2001 tech bubble. During the 2001 tech bubble, prices went up 6% nationally, and South Florida went up 13%. During the 2001 tech bubble. In 2002, when the S&P had the worst year in I don't know how many decades, Dade County transaction volume moved up 19.4%, and prices went up 13%. So why does it matter that, to know what's happening in real estate versus the stock market? The stock market is basically an investment tool. It's a very liquid investment tool. What you guys sell is shelter. It's a place to live. Yes, there's a lot of you that work with investors, and it's great that the house that we buy goes up in value year over year. But at the end of the day, what we sell is shelter. It's a roof over our head and a place to live, right? With shelter, it's limited inventory. We cannot create it as fast as you can create stock. A company goes public, millions and millions of shares are created. So we cannot create millions and millions of homes, right? It's just not what happens. Yes, we are having a growth of rental communities, and I'm going to touch on that. But remember, we are still outgrowing as an area with household formation. Remember household formations: marriage, divorce, and death. All right. So yes, the stock market might be in a rut, but we have had ruts before. That does not affect the real estate market. The real estate economy does not get really affected. The 2008, because everybody, I know I'm going to get comments, but Ernesto, 2008, 2009, 2010, that was a fraudulent, in my opinion, that was a fraudulent period. That was not a normal period of things that led to that event. So I don't see that as a comparison. So is the stock market up? Actually, let me even look at it. I haven't looked at it today. Should I look at it, guys? No? What do you think? Don't look. Don't look or look. It's not that bad. Okay. So let's put it away. Yeah, it burned my hand just to touch it. All right. So let's talk about real estate, which is what we all are here to do. So yes, inventory. And I don't know who's the one that just told me that they got a listing and they wanted to reduce the price. And Escalia said, you got to reduce the price. So national inventory year to date is up 27.5%. That is a lot of new listing. This is the most homes for sale that we have had in 5 years. But this is a very positive thing. This is not a negative, because buyers are not getting boxed in and forced. Buyers are having more opportunity, more option, less pressure, right? And they can make better decisions with your assistant, right? So if you're talking to a buyer, you have talked to a buyer lately, maybe it's time to reach out. Maybe it's time to go back into your app, change their filters, maybe expand their filters, because it's all of a sudden buyers have more options. So if you have a buyer that's pre-qualified for a number, go back and change the filters on the automatic. Everybody has their buyers. Everybody raise their right hand. Everybody has their buyers and automatic campaigns, right? Okay. If you don't have a closing, that's your answer. If your buyers don't know what's going on in the market. And sellers, yes, there are more sellers, and more than likely, when there are more sellers, what does that mean? There's going to be even more, because people begin to worry, right? And people begin to worry, so they're going to want to go ahead and sell. So, if you have a listing, it's time to look at the value. And if you have a listing, you're probably getting emails from me telling you, hey, you're overpriced, right? Or you're priced well, or you're really, really overpriced. So it's time to look on that. In Broward County, last 30 days, 34% of all listings had a price cut. Wow. But that does not mean values are going down. Because if you sit there and look at all of them, it's not that their prices are falling, it's that they were listed at an unrealistic price, right? So we're still, but prices are still moving up with each sale, but they're not moving at the rate that people are listing property. Why is this a positive thing? You have more room to negotiate. I don't know if you remember, about 2 Saturdays ago, I sent you guys a message. If you had a buyer with 600,000, instead of getting the $20,000 price reduction, get a $20,000, talk to Jader, get a buy down, especially with today's rate. So if you take 20,000 on if you take $20,000 of a $600,000 mortgage, your payment goes down about $105. If you take those 20,000 today, where rates are today, your mortgage payment goes down $600. What's a better strategy, right? So if you have a buyer, don't be afraid to make a strong offer, which means come in at full price, but ask for seller concessions, ask for a rate buy down. Now, every loan program is different, because someone just asked me over the weekend that they were getting a 10% seller concession. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. I don't even know how we're going to structure that one. You're getting 10%. We got to figure out, there's limits on how much you can use as a down, but you can definitely get very creative with that. Coach your buyers, the ones of you that are talking to buyers, make that one of your services, one of the things that you bring to the table. I'm going to get you not just the price that you want, but I'm going to get you better mortgage rates by working with my in-house partner and by the concessions that I'm going to get you. Because at the end of the day, everybody's just looking to what is their monthly payment going to be. So now, if you have a listing, it's time to breathe, right? So listings are sitting on the market a little longer. Even if you're priced well, you're sitting in the market a little longer. So the thing is, the data that is out there, it talks about condos and single family homes. So it's a little bit distorted, but single family homes are averaging about 54 days in the market. Does anybody have a house for sale here? Have you been in the market more than 54 days? 45. Have you had an offer yet? Okay, can someone please give this man an offer before the end of the day? Somebody, please. This is very positive, because if you're working with a buyer and the listing has been on the market for 90 days, you now have an itchy seller. Yeah, right? Yeah, that's a stressed out seller, right? And not itchy because of almidón, it's just itchy because he wants to sell. So that is the time to get what you are going to look for in the contract. Interest rate. Did you guys get pricing yet today? Not yet. So I don't think we're going to go below 6. I hope I'm wrong. I really, really hope I'm wrong. I don't think we're going to go below 6 this year. We're already in the 6s. We're in the low 6s today. Today we're in the low 6s. It depends. Well, if your guy is self-employed and drive, yeah. It depends on your buyer, but I don't, a lot of you telling me, Ernesto, my buyers are waiting for 5%. I don't think 24, 25, or 26 is going to be that year. I truly don't. I don't, who knows? There's a lot of interesting, I call them weird, a lot of weird, interesting things happening. The Fed called an emergency meeting, and I'm not going to bore you with that, but that I've only seen that once in my lifetime. So you never know what can happen after the emergency meeting today. But we are in the low sixes. But once again, if you're buying the rate down, you're at a better point to start. So it's very positive because the rate that has gotten very attractive is the 15-year rate. So the 15-year rate, that's in the low fives, right, Jader? 15, 15. So in the low fives. So you just got to take a shorter mortgage, right? Payment is going to be a little more, but you're going to pay it down quicker. But you're going to get those fives that you're looking for. If you have a seller, and I don't know, we did this on Thursday. If you have a seller that's looking to buy, so HELOCs just moved down because of everything. HELOCs is borrowing, so they have a great program that if you have a listing and your buyers are going to buy and they don't want to lose the house, they can get a bridge loan very cheaply, very quickly, right? And then they can secure the house that they want while they're selling the house that they have. Because a lot of people, most of the people that are selling right now, they're not selling to rent. They're selling because they want to move up or they want to move down. From what we're seeing, it's a lot of move up buyers. So take on that. If you don't know how to use a bridge loan, if you have a listing and your seller is looking to buy and you don't know how to get that done with a bridge loan, the gentleman with the beer and the back can help you. And if you're on a Zoom, the gentleman with the beer is Jader in the back. So it's very interesting what is happening with rates. Where is it gonna go? I don't know. The 10-year, which is what mortgages are based, is not moving. With everything that's happening, the 10-year is the same. That's why I'm saying six and a half is like the dance. It's the dance that we're gonna do for now. How long is it gonna be there? I don't know. So sellers are having to get more competitive on the condo market. There's a couple of legislation things going on Florida regarding the condo, the issue with Surfside. There's one thing is trying to move the requirement for condos of 4 stories or higher. That will help a lot of West Broward County because most of the buildings are shorter than 4 stories. So that's very creative. But with condos, what we're seeing and with sellers is they're having to not only fund reduce pricing, but fund all assessment. By now, most buildings have their assessments done, their reserve studies done. So remember that is a requirement piece of paper that you got to get. Yeah, but so Miami-Dade has a program for homeowners, elderly homeowners, but what they're giving them is about $2,500. So it helps, but if you have a $54,000 assessment, $2,500 is not gonna get you anywhere. But hey, it's a start. At least it's $2,500. So I'm seeing more sellers getting creative on the condo market. I'm seeing great deals on the condo market end. And I'll talk to you guys after the Zoom. Great investment deals. I mean, properties that even with assessments are still cash flowing on a positive way. Investors are now running back since rates moved down. And with investors, ladies and gentlemen, you got to get familiarized with the 1031 term. 1031 exchange. A 1031 is a transaction where the money from the seller, it never goes to the seller. It goes from the seller to the 1031 company to the new purchase. And they don't pay any capital gains on that. So we're seeing more and more transactions with 1031 exchange. As a matter of fact, 2 of you reached out to me this weekend that they got offers that were 1031 investors. So we're seeing a lot more of it. I think that TitleLogic is going to do a presentation, a basic intro into 1031, so you guys will know what it is. But it literally is you sell what you have, you don't pay, and it doesn't apply to principal residence. So if it's your house or it's your client's primary home, it doesn't apply. It has to be an investment property or a second home if it's rented. So it's a great way to move capital, allocate capital. So, but we're seeing more and more people using it because they have second home, vacation home, rental home. A lot of people that got into the Airbnb early on are now trying to cash out. So if you are working with any of these type of investors, you got to figure out how to do return on investment, because that's the first thing they're going to ask you: how much money I'm making. And you need to be a little familiarized with what is a 1031, how that helps a buyer. Remember, when you're doing return on investments on an investment property, it's not on the purchase price, it's on the down payment amount. Because a lot of you send me like things that you do, and it's like, oh, Ernesto, this cash flow is negative. And I'm like, yeah, because you're looking for a return. You're doing a return on the purchase price. You didn't buy it cash. You put 35% down. So it's the return on what was actually investing. The number one thing that I got asked last week was, Ernesto, is the market crashing? And I can show you my phone how many messages I sent to a lot of you, because you had clients that were asking, is the market crashing? I'm not an expert, but to me, it's always very simple. If inventory is low, if interest rates are low, and if unemployment is low, why would the market crash? Oh, and foreclosures are low. Why would the market crash? Florida right now, I think, has barely 90,000 foreclosures. You know how many we had in 2010? A million, right? 2010, our inventory, we right now have statewide 74,000 homes for sale, counting everything on the West Coast, right? We had close to 600,000 homes for sale back in 2000. What's with my phone today? No, I wish. I wish. Okay, so we still have low inventory, right? We have almost zero amount of foreclosures, ladies and gentlemen. By standards, American standards, we have lower rates. So when everybody asks you, is the market going to crash? Don't say no. Tell them, listen, for the market to crash, we need unemployment to be close to 9%. Unemployment is about 4.5%. We need foreclosures to be around 4 million nationally. We're not even a million yet. You need inventory to pass 9 to 10 months. We're barely at 4. So nothing points to a market crashing. Is the market going to crash? In my opinion, no. Because you need all of those, not one of them, you need all of those things to come in line. So I don't see that happening. Now, I spoke on this last time I did one of these, and everybody wanted me to touch on that again. Yeah, I still got some time. Was investment properties. And I think Patty and Yvonne wrote to me about the weekend on this. So duplex, triplexes, and fourplexes in Dade, Broward County, in the past 3 years, duplex, triplex, and fourplex, in the past 3 years, they've gone up 37%. That's a lot. So why? Number one, rents keep moving up. Number two, they're not building them anymore. Is anybody building duplexes and triplexes? Nobody. So, and they're old. As a matter of fact, they're disappearing because they're being torn down to build new properties. So investment properties are a good investment only because there's no competition. They cash flow well. So 37% in 3 years, that's what, 12% a year? That's not plus the cash flow. So 15% a year is a lot. It's a good play for me. Buyers can still get into duplex, triplets, and fourplexes as their primary home. Remember, we did the math a couple of weeks ago. We're working with a young buyer buying a fourplex in Little Havana. Each unit rents for $2,500. CMG was talking to them. So he's gonna use the 75. He's gonna live in one unit. paying $1 million for the fourplex. He's gonna live in one unit, and he has $7,500 extra of income to qualify for that loan, outside from his income. And no, that's not gonna be his forever home. That's not where he's gonna raise kids. It's just that he works close to Brickell. He wants to be close to work. Little Havana, it's apparently happening. I don't know. Some people tell me it's happening. Carlos, you go to Little Havana a lot? No? Okay. So it's changing. So there you go. So you're getting a lot of buyers that are willing to have a shorter commute, and they're looking at it as an investment. They're holding on to it as an investment. So if you are working with a investor and you have questions, please feel free to reach out. I know there's some questions in the chat. I'll go to you guys in a minute. So every buyer out there, and I think we talked about this last weekend, deserves a strategy, deserves a consultation. Because everybody tells you they want to buy one thing and one thing only. But what I'm seeing more and more is the minute they sit down and they talk to one of you and understand what their options are, what their financing options are, they're making different decisions than what they were calling you or talking to you originally about. So take the time to have the conversation, to have the one-on-one, have your lender sit with you, because there are a lot of different programs out there that buyers may not know, or you may not even know. So, in closing, because I'm running out of time, the last thing I wanted to talk about was new construction. So South Florida is still, who went to the pre-construction thing that we did in Pompano? Wasn't that amazing? Right?
Amazing.
So we have a ton of new buildings popping up all over, right? Now, we still have a shortage because, like they said at that presentation, does anybody remember how many driver's licenses are being issued daily in the state of Florida? Anybody remember?
1,000.
1,000, thank you, Ro. 1,280 driver's licenses are being issued daily in Florida. That's how many people are moving to Florida every single day. So whenever you see new construction, it's because we got people that, I mean, do you blame them? Do you want to live anywhere else? Come on. So one of the projects, one of the areas that is booming, and it started booming because I moved there, I think, as Coral Gables. So Coral Gables, it's literally called the City Beautiful because it is. It is a beautiful, beautiful city. There's a project, there's a presentation that I speak to about Cassia, new construction in Coral Gables, but I wanted to give you a couple of things on why this infill boutique project is so important. There's no land. I mean, if there's no land here, there's no land in the Gables. Zoning restrictions in the Gables are beyond strict. So it's not like you can just buy something, tear it down, and build. It just doesn't happen. It's a very long play. The Gables happens now to be the home for Apple, the home for FIFA, right? And a couple of large national banks that have also moved to the Gables. So the Gables has a thriving population, a very vibrant young population. There's literally something happening all the time. And you happen to have the University of Miami within walking distance, one of the top schools in the US. So the Gables, I went back and I looked at pricing for, actually, I went back to October. From October to today, okay, prices in the Gables are up 9.2% from October. Just October, ladies and gentlemen, right? So the average condo in the Gables is about 1,200 square feet. The Gable ranks as one of the most expensive areas, not only in Dade County, but in the nation, because it's a destination. It's truly a destination. You're close enough to Brickell and far enough from Brickell. You're close enough and far enough. So the average rental for a 2-bedroom in the Gables is about $5,000 to $7,000. So rents are a little bit higher. It's a very unique, centrally located place. You're next to the airport. You're next to all the major hubs. And like I said, the projects they're going up right now that's going to present to you offers a very unique opportunity to own something that is new construction, because there's literally nothing else planned that is new construction in the city of the Gables. I'm going to say bye-bye to the shadow recession. Okay, we'll have one question. So Alvaro, the shadow recession is like the shadow inventory from 2011. It's a shadow. A shadow is not real. The shadow recession that we might have is based on stock market valuation. Unless we have an unemployment-based recession, I don't see any effect, and that's just me, to real estate. If there is not unemployment, if people cannot have a job to pay for their houses, there will not be a rush to sell property. So thank you to everybody that joined me via Zoom. A pleasure seeing you all. I will see you tomorrow in the Ask the Attorney. And I'm going to keep talking to the beautiful group that I have right here. Hasta luego.